Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's show. We have a fantastic show for you today. Today, on My Thoughts Exactly, we have a very special guest, South Florida landscape photographer Tony TUR. I first saw Tony's beautiful, amazing photography 3 or 4 months ago, and I was blown away. The colors, the size of the prints, they're quite striking. And Tony and I developed a friendship online through Facebook, and we started talking. And I said, why don't you come on the show and be one of my guests? And he jumped at the chance. So we have him here today, and we're going to talk with Tony all about how he achieves these amazing, amazing photographs. I'll show you a few now. So now let's talk with Tony TUR and see how he achieves such beautiful work. Hello, Tony. Thank you for joining us on today's show.
Hi, Charles. Thank you.
How's everything with you? How's your wife, Milena, and your daughter, Olivia?
Milena and Olivia are doing great.
Great.
Thank you.
Good to hear in these times when we have to socially distance as we're doing here in the show today.
Definitely.
So, Tony, tell me and the viewers a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Are you a South Florida native?
Well, Charles, actually, I came from Cuba when I was 4. I got interested in theater during high school. From there, I got a job at the Coconut Grove Playhouse. And I'm currently the head electrician at the Adrian Arts Center for Performing Arts.
So how did you discover photography?
Well, what's funny is I started going out and shooting during my breaks because I was long breaks during theater and I got bored. And that got me into finding the light, which is literally what I do in theater.
I've described you as a landscape photographer, but I think, here, I'll just cut to another photograph. I think what people can see here is it's much more than that. So do I describe you correctly, or do you describe yourself a little differently than that?
I think I'm more of architectural landscape photographer. Meaning I like finding structures, buildings, modern architects, and taking pictures of that. And if you notice, most of my pictures are during sunrise and sunset. I'm not a daytime shooter.
What type of camera do you shoot with?
I shoot with 2 cameras. I have a Nikon D850, which is a mirrored camera. And I have a Nikon C6, which is a mirrorless camera.
Now color, as we can see, color plays an amazing part of in your work. The colors are so vibrant and so alive. They give such energy to the photo. Without giving away your secrets, is there anything you'd like to talk about how you achieve this effect?
The way I feel is I collect data. I know people think they're photographers, but I basically go out there and I collect data. I take a picture very flat with little colors, and then I put the rendition of how I saw the image when I was standing there. Sometimes it's a little saturated, sometimes it's right on, but that's how I approach my photography.
Some of your images are also taken from above. How do you achieve the aerial views? Can you?
I use a drone, and I've been flying drones before I even started the photography because I was really into capturing another perspective. And then once you're in the air, it's like you can move anywhere you want to. You don't really need a specific lens or a zoom. You can get to your location and shoot that way. And that's the beauty of it. Once I'm in the air, I try to find shapes that create these images I create. There is rules you have to follow. I'm a certified pilot with the FAA. So you have to take a test every 2 years. You can't fly over people unless you have certificates. So I'm legit in all that way where I take my test, I communicate what I'm doing with the FAA at all times.
Is there any other subject matter aside from the landscapes that you do and the seascapes and sunrises, buildings? Is there anything on your horizon that you wanted to try in photography?
I currently do interiors, which I love, but I love to travel in photography. And before all this COVID started, I was starting to get some budget to try to travel to different cities to expand to different markets and different people. But I'm trying to contain myself right now until that can happen again.
Let's show a few more images of Tony TUR's work, and then we'll come back and have a few final words and thank him for joining us. while you were enjoying looking at Tony's beautiful photography, Tony went and got his drone out, and he's showing us his DJI drone that he uses to get those tremendous aerial shots. Tell us a little bit about this fantastic looking device.
This is a DJI Mavic 2 Pro, and it has a Hasselblad 1-inch sensor with a 20 megapixel camera, all controlled through a remote, and I use my iPad as well to see where it's going. It sends me a live feed from the drone itself as it travels in the air.
So you can watch what the drone is actually seeing.
Exactly.
While you're on the ground.
Exactly,
So
which really helps me frame my shot, helps me find where I have to be in location to get that right shot.
So when you get that photo that you love, do you press like a camera shutter?
I do. I press the camera shutter, and I do what's called multiple exposure, so it'll shoot 5 shots at once. Being that we don't have a flash on one of these, I can't really control the light, so I do 5 shots, and then I blend those 5 shots to get the perfect lighting we need. I had a bigger one, and I've used that during the Hurricane Irene to get some stuff for footage for other companies that need it. And that was flying at about 45 mile an hour wind, pretty smooth. But
So now you love shooting sunrises
That's
above, most of all with your drone. You
Right.
come out and you do these fantastic sunrises, and you said you like to get out there early. How early is early?
sometimes I get up at 4.
Wow.
I'll make some coffee and head out probably by 5, so I can be at the spot around 5:30. I like getting the blue hour, which is right before the sun comes out, because you still have sunlight, but not the blasting sun. So.
Now, if people wanted to get a print of your work and display it in their home, your artwork, how do they go about that? Do you have a
They can
website?
always go to my website, which is TonyTurPhotography.com.
TonyTurPhotography.com. I'm putting it up on the screen right now so you can see it, so grab a pencil and pen, and you have images there they can select.
They have images. My
and
Instagram
print
feed is on there. You can find me through all social medias, Facebook, Instagram at TonyTurPhotography.
Well, that's fantastic. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today. I know our viewers loved your work because it's so amazing. It was great chatting with you and hearing how you achieve these fantastic prints. So, Tony, thank you.
Thank you, Charles, for having me on the show.
Well, that's our show for the week. Join us next week on My Thoughts Exactly, when my guest will be New York cabaret artist Deb Berman, and she'll be discussing her new children's book called 9 Months in the Play Womb. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week on My Thoughts Exactly. And if you like the show, please subscribe. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Bye now.